All right, drivers ready. Corner marshals ready. Everyone goes in the sound of the tone. Oh, big wipeout. Alan's the big loser out there. All right, keep it going. Everyone doing a good job out there. Or just watch each other. Oh, Francis and, is that Francis or Nico? One or the other, they both got the same color.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to do a post-race review of this Yokomo Rookie Sport 1.0 and also talk about some gearing issues that I ran into. A lot of you may know that the gearing on this car, it comes with a, I believe, 86 tooth spur gear, and with spec class racing or stock racing with 21.5 motors, especially 21.5 motors that have fixed end bell. This is a phantom motor that I've installed in this. But I found with this car, first club race, I took out this one. It's what I had built. I had not built this one yet. So I took this out, shakedown run. I'm running a just stock fixed end bell motor, a just stock ESC, a ProTech 140T servo. I'm running the FlySky Noble NB4. So out of the box, car handled great. You know, for a $200 kit, I was very impressed. We're running on asphalt outdoor, and we're running USGT tires. I did not change anything but the oil in the diffs. I'm running 80,000 up front, and I'm running, I believe, 3,000 in the rear. Handled great. Honestly, out of the box, just follow their setup and it's pretty good. I ran about 5 mils of ground clearance. Excellent. I didn't even set droop or anything. I just kind of threw it on the track and away we go. We just kind of had a practice day and a quick race day, just to, shake off the cobwebs. And it was a great day to sort of set this thing up and figure it all out. So what I found with the gearing, the drive ratio of the pulleys is actually not 1.9, it's 2.0. So if you are doing some calculations on that, just keep that in mind for your final drive. So not 1.9 like a lot of kits, this is actually 2.0. I had to go all the way down to roughly, to get it down to like 3.5, 3.69 ratio. I was running like I think I'm at 3.69 now with a 72, and we're running a 39 tooth, and that's 48 pitch. So playing around with this here, that's what I found with the just stock 21.5, fairly long straightaway. So we have a long straightaway at the track, so definitely a lot of room for speed. And with these just stock fixed end bell motors, you really have to gear them to get it there. So if you're going to run 48 pitch, I would automatically write off the spur gear that it comes with. I would automatically look for, ideally you'd want to find some 64 pitch, but I had this 72 associated kicking around. The bolt pattern doesn't fully line up, only 2 of the bolts line up, but that should be fine. It's encased in these 2 pulleys, and the 2 screws holding it on are very tight, so it's all good. So running a 72, 39, 48 pitch, and that's kind of the size we're looking at. I think we're down to about 3.69 on this with the just stock 21.5. I think I've got this geared pretty good. We can play around a little bit, keep the 72 on there. We can go down. I can't go up very much though. We're running at max there. I don't know if you can see that, but clearance nil, just bypasses it. And that is the main issue I wanted to talk to you about, is the gearing on this. You do have to do some mods to allow the top deck here to kind of come up and give you the clearance you need for your pinion gears. On this one, I found I had to replace the screws here for some longer ones. I believe it was 8 or 10 mil I had to put on there. I found that the stock screws that it came with, I don't know, just they could have gone a little longer. I didn't feel like the threading was tight enough. You may run into some issues with your belt rubbing on the upper deck. I actually had to grind the upper deck and kind of cut it out a little bit here to add some clearance for the belt. So if you can see that there. So pretty annoying, but in order to get the gearing on this, I did have to do that. So that is one sort of negative I would say to this kit, is I had to mod some stuff to get the speed I wanted. And so in order to do that also, this is probably going to annoy a lot of people, but so you have these pieces of aluminum here, one there, one here. This is what joins the two pieces of the upper deck together and actually what gives you your rigidity. Okay, so underneath here though is a screw, and there was a screw here. That screw is in the way of any large pinion gear. So I gave it some thought, and there is no added rigidity from me keeping this screw in. This piece joined here to here with one screw here and one screw here is just as rigid. Because I have two cars, I can check. So before I did this on the other car, I made sure by checking with both cars, does it change the rigidity? Remove this screw, screwed them back in, checked. No, it doesn't. There's no lift here. So removing that screw, you can do that. It'll drive people crazy, but it's just as rigid. So chill. Then what I had to do is I put roughly a 2 or 2.5 mil spacer under here, and everything still lines up in terms of parallel, because this, when you loosen these screws, this thing can kind of pivot. So I've managed to get a ratio on there that it's going to give me the speed I need. And yes, that is somewhat annoying. And yes, it took a little bit of modding, but you know, I've got a Yokomo that I can play around with a lot of different ratios now. So some other touring cars like the SNRC, some other budget touring cars from China, you know, they don't have this issue. So in kind of comparing, you know, I really wish Yokomo had thought this through a little more to get you the gearing that you would want for stock racing. So that's one strike against that kit. But if you're willing to play around with the gearing like that and play around with these mods, you can get the gearing out of it. And to be honest, you know, there are quite a few touring cars where this is a topic of conversation, having to play around with spacing and what's your max and min spur and pinion that you can put on there. So that's that. Now for the second one, I built it up with a Phantom Helix RS 21.5. These motors are rockets. I got this one used off a fellow racer. On this one, we're running same chassis. I've put 100,000 weight oil in the front, 3,000 in the rear. So we're going to try that up front. This one has not been on the track yet, so curious to see. I've set up the ESC back here and the receiver up here. So switch those two around in comparison to this guy, and Reef's 299 servo. And then we're running 64 pitch on this. So currently I'm running 96 tooth with a 49. And on this guy, Same mod, removing that screw, just as stiff. However, to get more gearing out of this, I did cut the top plate back a bit and chamfered this quite a bit more. The reason I had to do that was to get a bigger pinion. We're running a 49/64 pitch now, roughly the same size as the 39/48 pitch on this, but wanted to run 64 on this. So I ordered up a bunch of different gears from Action, however you pronounce that. Sorry if I screwed it up, but it is what it is. So we're running a 96 on here. So I've got a 95 just in case, 92, 93. So we can go even more speed. A friend of mine loaned me this at the track, so I got him a new one so I don't have to take that off. And then 49 on here right now in terms of pinion, 50, 51. So checked it out. I can run a 51. I believe there's clearance. I just use my ichrometers to check, but it does look like there's enough clearance for a 51 in there. So 49, 96, I was actually running these gears on the just stock. Wasn't that fast, was decent enough. However, you know, I was definitely a little behind some of the other guys. But with this Phantom Helix rocket, we're gonna try it with the gearing that I had with the just stock with a much faster motor, and we should be good. Good starting point for sure. Now, in order to achieve the clearance, I put on 3mm spacers. So these blue spacers here, I grabbed some new stainless hardware for the extra depth of thread. So we got 3mm up, 3mm up here, and that's all now parallel. And because it comes up much higher, I had to chamfer that and cut this away. We're just clearing the belt. I've checked, it's not rubbing, so we're good to go there. So yeah, a lot of gearing to play around with there. I'm really excited to kind of get the new one that I have not run down on the track with this motor and check this gearing out. And I should have plenty of ratios to play around with here to figure all that out. So yeah, I still strongly suggest these kits. Yokomo has been building race cars forever, world champions through and through. And being that these are just entry-level starter kits for on-road, still say you can't go wrong. Definitely you could compare them to, you know, some of the SNRC or the any of the kits from Asia Tees, but yeah, it's good to go. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. That's just my quick run through on post-race of the Yokomo RS. Discuss some gearing. Hopefully you guys check this out before you decide to buy it and consider what's going on here with the gearing. Stay tuned for more videos to come. Appreciate you all stopping by. Thanks for the subscriptions. See you soon.